Yo, what is up, YouTube? What's up, Steelers Nation? We're here early on a Wednesday afternoon because, as we all know, our Steelers are going to, I think we go to Cleveland. I think we were playing in Cleveland. Short week. We just got done beating the Baltimore Ravens this past Sunday. Um, all field goals. I think it was, 18-16 was the final score. The Harbaugh Baltimore team went for two, which they're known to go for two a lot, and they're known not to get the two a lot. But anyway, they had to do it. It was do or die. So we got the stop, we got the win, and now on a short week, we are going to Cleveland, which I think I saw Trey Essex tweeted it out, saying that having the Steelers go to Cleveland after playing Baltimore on a short week is criminal, which I agree. But I digress. It is what it is. Another rivalry game. We knew that all six divisional games were placed in the last 8 games of the season, which is very strange. It was very strange from the beginning, and I always wonder why they did it this way. And then yesterday, I got a reminder when I saw the Hard Knocks trailer. I think it actually starts to come out on December 5th or December 6th. So they're recording all these divisional matchups in this part of the season when they're filming. So I knew there was a reason. The NFL definitely fucked us over, but they fucked us over for money, which I guess that doesn't really make it that much better. But that's why. That's my opinion at least. So now that I kind of get my little rant out of the way, let me pull up a couple metrics I had here. I don't have any tweets or anything like I usually do after the games. Um, this is more of a pregame style I'm doing here, and whoopsie, there we go. And it's much earlier in the week than what I'm used to doing. So yeah, man, looking at the Steelers last 5 games, we are 5-0. We won our last 5 games since I think the game before the Vegas game was the Cowboys game, which we won't talk about. So we had our last win with Justin Fields as the full-time starter. We put up 32 points, 32-13. Russ's first game, we win 37-15. Against the Giants, we go 26. We win 26-18, 28-27 against a very good Washington team. People are trying to discredit them, saying they're not as good when they had the exact same thing we're going through now. They played us on Sunday, which was a hard game, and then they had to turn around on Thursday and they had to play Saquon Barkley and the Giants, I believe. And yeah, that was just a tough back-to-back stretch for them. And then Baltimore, a lot of people Super Bowl favorite. A lot of people who think the team that's at least going to represent the AFC between them, the Chiefs, and the Bills. We were able to beat them without scoring a field goal. It was not our best offensive game. It just really wasn't. But hey, sometimes you have games like that. The important thing is you're able to win the game, and it gave the defense an opportunity to really show how dominant they are, and they're getting a lot of credit right now. So I'm not mad at it. A win's a win, and I'm just happy. These last 5 games have gone really well for us. But we're coming off of a short week here, and although the Browns aren't having their best season, you never take a team lightly, especially a divisional game. So I'm gonna bring up their last 5 games here, which their last 5 games are a little rough, but they've also played some pretty good teams. Um, so in their last 5 games, they're 1-4. So they lost to Philly by 4 points. They lost to Cincinnati by 7 points. They lost to Baltimore by 5. No, they won against Baltimore. That's right. This is their upset game, the game that blew a whole bunch of people's tickets. The game where they said Jameis should have had like 3, 4, 5 picks, but they dropped them all, yada, yada. So they actually won that game, but they lost to the Chargers. Oh, excuse me. And, oh, excuse me. They also lost to New. Oh, my goodness, got the hiccups. They also lost to New Orleans, which New Orleans isn't that great of a team right now, but I think they got Derek Carr back. I think they had Taysom Hill in there playing a lot for him. So They were able to kind of get creative there, and they actually won that game by 21 points. Jeez Louise. So on paper, we should definitely win this game. Definitely. We should win this game. I believe we are going to win this game. I just think it's just tough coming off of a short week. We're riding a high after all these wins. We're riding a high after beating Baltimore. And, a lot of Steelers fans, national media, is more or less waiting for us to drop this game so they can say that we're not that good. So that they can say, we got lucky, yada 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 yada. They're just waiting for that just so they can talk shit. So, as one trend I've noticed a lot throughout this season is, regardless of what we do or who we play or who we beat, people don't really believe in us, which is fine. It doesn't really matter if the national media believes in us, as long as we believe in ourselves. You know what I mean? And I'm one of the people. I mean, I like hearing about the Steelers. I like hearing our us get our just dues and our credit and different things on these talk shows and different things. It's fun. It's entertaining. But a lot of times you want to kind of fly under the radar a little bit. I feel like we're getting hot at a good time. We're getting healthy at a good time. We more or less just have to maintain, win the games we're supposed to win, finish with a very good record, and we can still be in pace for the number one seed. Like, we play the Chiefs, in about a month on Christmas. So as long as we keep pace, and they might drop a game, but ultimately, if we can do what we need to do, we can possibly beat them. We can take number one in the AFC, not just in the division. So that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. I think we got a two-game lead on the Ravens right now. We're 8-2. They're 7-4. So we have some breathing room in the division, but this is a week-to-week thing, and this is a divisional matchup. So we definitely want to win this game. So looking at some of the metrics, I actually want to start with Cleveland here. Now, their numbers are going to be a little obscure because, they've had two quarterbacks play. They've also had multiple running backs play, as Nick Chubb has just came back. So their numbers may not be eye-popping here, but just remember these are split. So we won't talk about Deshaun Watson so much, but what's his name? Jeremy Ford has 279 on the ground. Jerry Jeudy has 560 through the air, which isn't bad. Not really bad at all. But I want to kind of look at their team metrics because it's a little rough. Now, their offense is definitely their strong suit. But looking at their offense here, they're 31st in points, 29th in yards, 32nd or dead last in average yards a game. They're 30th in rushing yards, 29th in rushing attempts, 28th in rushing average yards a game, and 22nd in passing yards a game. Now, some of these are a little, I don't want to say inflated, but I mean, they're down a lot, so they have a lot of passing attempts. We can see it doesn't really translate into their numbers as far as their attempts. And then, they're really bad giving up sacks, pause. Their first downs are really bad. Their rushing on first downs bad. Their penalty yardage is bad. Their offense is really struggling, but they got a gunslinger, a true wild card, and Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry, and Jameis Winston. I'm a fan of Jameis Winston. He's got a fan out of me. Pause. He's always been one of those rah guys. He's always been give you everything he's got. Pause type of guys. The dude's just funny. I don't know if he does it on purpose. I don't know if that's just his natural personality. But the dude is funny. But he's a very motivational type of person, a very motivating type of person. And he's going to get up for this game. That he's going to go out there. He's going to hype his guys up. And they're going to be ready to play this Thursday night. They have a good coach, regardless of what their record may be and things that may have happened. I think his name's Stefanski. I think he was with the 49ers or something. Don't let me lie to you, but I like their coach. I know he has a good resume. I just can't remember it. But they're well coached, and they definitely have the means to be in any game like we saw, other than like that Saints game. A lot of those games that they lost, first of all, a lot of them were divisional opponents. A lot of them were against above 500 teams, if not all of them. and they were all one score games. So a big part of the reason they're able to do that is because of their defense. Now they do give up a good bit of points, which it happens if you're not if you're not able to score and keep the ball a lot yourself. You're giving the other team a lot of opportunities to put points on the board and to gain yards, which we know as Steelers fans, regardless of how good our defense was for the last few years, if our offense wasn't doing nothing, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, the other team, they're professionals. They're going to make plays. Our guys are going to get tired. And, sometimes you can just simply make a mistake. There can be a bad read. There can be a bad communication. And you give up big plays. So we gotta keep things under control. We got to possess the ball like we did against the Ravens. Was a big reason why we were able to win against the Ravens, because we kept the ball out of Lamar Jackson's hands. But their yards, they give up a lot of yards, which we just talked about. They're pretty good against play action. Rushing yards is a bit of a struggle for them as well. But we see here passing attempts, they're pretty good. They're pretty good at getting sacks, pause. They're good on first down. They're good when it comes to penalty yardage. Well, at least on first down, that is. But their numbers may be a little bit ugly, but they're better than a 2-8 team, and we have to keep that in mind. If we're speaking defense, this team's at least 500, if not more, just based on their defense alone. So let's go ahead and flip over here and take a look at our offense, or at our numbers, I guess I should say. So ours is kind of when it comes to the rushing or the passing, excuse me. This is split too, because Fields is still leading the team in passing yards, but he played 6 games. Russ is currently going to be on. This is 4th game, so he played 6. We played 10 total. So yeah, so he had 6. Russ has had 4. This will be Russ's 5th game. So Najee Harris is doing really well, 700 yards. George Pickens is doing really good. He's had quite a resurgence here in these last few weeks. He was number 3 in the NFL. I can't remember if somebody took his place. Justin Jefferson's 2. Might have been Jamar Chase, to be honest with you. Might have been Jamar Chase took the 3rd spot, and now he's in 4th. But the fact that he's top 5 in passing yards, I don't think he was even top 10, just a few weeks ago. So he's definitely had a strong resurgence. We can see here our gauntlet of a schedule. Wait, no, we've already played these games. So okay, never mind. But all right, let's go down to our rankings here. So our offense is kind of middle of the pack when it comes to a lot of the metrics, but we'll take that with a grain of salt. It's been a lot better these last few games. I tried to get the last 5 games to see like comparisons to the rest of the league, but I wasn't able to get it quite that detailed. I'll take a look at it again and see if I can adjust that at all while we go through, or once we get done going through. So when it comes to points, we're 18th in points, which that's come up, 21st in yards, 14th play action, 24th on the average yards a game. Now our rushing has really, really stepped up here. So we've always been top 3, if not top 2, in rushing attempts the whole season. But now our yardage is starting to fill in, because this was also middle of the pack. This was in white for a long time. So we're now top 10 in rushing yards. We got over 1,300 rushing yards, almost 1,400 rushing yards if you round up there. So that's really good, especially with Jaylen Warren getting healthy. He missed the first few games, and I think he missed one other game in between there. So having him back, keeping Najee fresh, and having a bit of a yin and yang power and speed back, it helps a lot. Now our passing yards, again, we got to take this with a bit of a grain of salt, because I don't think Justin was playing bad at all. He really wasn't. But our numbers just weren't that high. We were winning games. We were rushing the ball. We were converting 3rd downs. We were getting in the end zone, especially in the red zone. So I didn't, none of these things really matter too much while we were winning. But if we're not winning, then it's going to be more of a red flag here. But as far as passing yards, passing attempts, they're both in the bottom of the league here, but these are going to continue to grow. Each week these go up. Plus, a lot of people pass the ball a lot. Like Cooper Rush passed the ball 55 times just this past Sunday, a backup quarterback threw the ball almost 60 times. So, I mean, especially if you're losing, if you're a team that maybe has some good playmakers, but not a good team, those numbers are going to be inflated because that's all they can do. I mean, I'm sure if you look at, no disrespect, but I'm sure if you look at the Bengals stats, I'm sure they're passing yards. I'm sure there's probably a lot of green in here, but it's not translating to wins for them. So just keep in mind to keep all these things in perspective when you're looking at the numbers here. But rushing first downs, we're top 10 now. Passing first downs, we're almost last, so that honestly could use some work. But as far as offensive numbers, they're not the greatest, but we are seeing steady improvement throughout the year, which is all I can ask for. We're winning games. If we can just kind of keep improving, keep improving, keep improving. We've been averaging around 30 points a game with Russ. I know that's probably shot down a lot with us only scoring 18 the past game with no touchdowns. But our offense has proved that they can move the ball and they can move the ball against good teams. We just got to get in the end zone. So let's go ahead and continue down here to our defense, and you see a lot of green. I think we have the best defense in the world. I honestly do. Now, I know the Chargers have the number one scoring defense. There may be a team with technically a better run defense. I think Baltimore has the best run defense and like the worst secondary defense, which is crazy. And I think there's another team that's the opposite. I think they have like the best passing defense, but one of the worst rushing. So I can't remember that off the top of my head. But when it comes to overall defense, D line, linebackers, secondary play, the only thing I wish we were a little bit better at, which we did pretty good this last game, is just getting stops on third down, especially third and long. We should not be letting up so many conversions of more than 3rd and 5, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10 plus. They should not be converting those. Maybe once or twice here and there, but no type of consistent conversions there should be in play. So if we look at points, we are second in total points. Second in scoring defense, which is amazing. The Chargers have just been crazy this year. I don't know what they're letting up, because I know we're not letting up a lot, but we're second. We're fifth in yards allowed, fourth in play action, and 10th in average yards a game, which is really good. We're fourth against the run, third in rushing attacks, which this also comes back to a lot of these games. We might not be blowing teams out, but a lot of times we're winning, or we're right there. If they're winning by the most 2 scores, and it's like a touchdown and a field goal. They're about like 10. So the teams aren't rushing the ball on us a whole lot. They're mainly throwing the ball, which I think is affecting some of these other numbers. You think about the Commanders threw the ball a lot. Baltimore threw the ball a lot. They only ran Derrick Henry, I think, 13 times. Dallas threw the ball a lot to get back into the game and ultimately take that game. A lot of these teams are really airing it out against us because, we're doing pretty good against the run. And even some of these aired out games, like, Scary Terry caught that one pass, Minka misses a tackle, and he gets free. There was another play in that Baltimore game where dude pushed off, or one of our guys tripped or something and missed the tackle, and he got extra yards. Some of this yardage is not as bad as what it looks because they're making a lot of the plays after the catch. So be that as it may, passing yards were 17th, passing attempts were 19th, and passing average yards a game were 12th. So we're right around the middle of the pack there. Now, sacks, we're not getting as many sacks, which is a little disappointing, but it's not because we're not talented. It's not because the other teams are better. It's not because the other teams are scheming us out of it. It's because we only rushed 4 people. The only times I've really seen us rush the quarterback was these last 2 games against Baltimore and against Washington, and I think a lot of that had to do with the quarterback's legs being a big priority for the defense, is to keep the quarterback from running and to keep them contained. So a bit of a yin-yang, trying to blitz to keep him in the pocket more or less, not blitzing a whole lot to get the sack. Like, of course you want to get the sack, but it's mainly to try to keep him in the pocket. Blitz wide, maybe bring one dude up the middle, make him feel the pressure. But when he goes to escape, there's two guys playing contain on the outside. So, and then vice versa, the dudes on the outside might blitz, and the dudes on the inside play contain. Have maybe a spy in the back, things like that. Like a lot of that was on film. So, but as far as right here, it's kind of put my foot in my mouth. It says we're second in the league with allowing first downs, which is actually pretty surprising. I know we were really good at first, but I felt like in the last few weeks it kind of teetered out a little bit. But rushing first downs, passing first downs, both top 10, penalty yards on first down, penalties in general, all top 10. That's really good to see all this green here at the end of the metric. So I honestly think we're going to win this game. I pretty much think we're going to win every game, but I think we're going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, of course. I think it probably will be an ugly game. It might be a defensive game, might be a one-possession game, just given the short week coming off of the Baltimore game. And then who did the Browns play last? The Saints, right? They got beat up pretty good by the Saints by 3 touchdowns. So they're going to come out juiced up. They're going to try to score the ball. We're going to need to try to score the ball. I just don't see it being another 28-27 game like we have with Washington, but it is possible. In my opinion, I think it's going to be like 21-17 Steelers is my prediction. I think we'll win by more than a point or two. So I'm going with 21-17. I think Najee finds the end zone. I think Russ finds the end zone, particularly with George Pickens. I think Darnell Washington finds the end zone in this game. Those are my 3 touchdown scores. I think probably Jerry Jeudy probably scores for them. I feel like we haven't let up any touchdowns to tight ends all year. I don't know how healthy Nick Chubb is. I know he's back, and it's good to see him back. They might try to score with Nick Chubb because he got hurt against the Steelers last year when Minka hit him in the knee. So Nick Chubb, watch out for him. This might be a Nick Chubb quote unquote revenge game. Watch out for his yards. If he's anywhere for like 50 to 60 yards, maybe take his over. But I think he's going to play a huge role in this game. And Boss, best kicker in the league. I think we have the best special teams unit in the league. So this team feels special, man. I've said it every week. I've shouted out Deshaun Elliott, who I think is one of our best pickups. I've been preaching Patrick Queen, saying he's not as bad as what people were making him out to be. He's just kind of learning his footing. He's fast. He flies around. He plays hard. And these last 2 weeks, we've really seen that come into play a lot more as Patrick Queen has really ascended. T.J. Watt is T.J. Watt. Nick Herbig is a beast. Cam Hayward looks like he's found the fountain of youth. I think Russ has been a big shot in the arm of not only professionalism but positivity. George Pickens is smiling. He's happy. Najee's running hard. Jalen's running hard. Our line's doing pretty good. We got our all-pro rookie center, Zach Frazier's back. Mason McCormick has been a huge surprise with how good he is. Broderick Jones continues to struggle, but I'm not going to harp on him. I think he's a great athlete. I think he's going to have a great career. But he's going through his growing pains right now. So, what's not going to help him is telling him how bad he sucks. What's going to help him is coaching and experience. So I'm not on here to pile on to Broderick Jones. Just keep them penalties down. That's all I ask. And let's get Mike Williams some more touches if we can. Let's get Calvin Austin some more touches. Let's definitely get Pat Freiermuth some more touches. We have the foundation. The blueprint is there. We just got to keep playing Pittsburgh Steelers football, and we're going to win this game, baby. We're going to win this game. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I meant to keep this under 20 minutes. It's now going on 25. So if you have made it to this part of the video, you are a real one. Let me put this on full cam. If you made it to this part in the video, you are a real one. I do appreciate you. If you don't mind, please like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We really appreciate you. I hope you guys have a good day. And let's get this one tomorrow. Let's go Steelers. Catch you guys later.